Welcome to Anara Healing Space for you. Today, we will walk together through the Buddha's teachings on forgiveness and reconciliation. In life, we all face moments of pain, betrayal, and misunderstanding. These experiences can weigh heavily on our hearts, creating wounds that seem difficult to heal. But the Buddha, with his infinite compassion and wisdom, showed us that forgiveness is not only possible, but essential for our peace. Forgiveness is not forgetting or denying what happened, but transforming pain into compassion and hatred into understanding. Reconciliation is the process of restoring harmony, first within ourselves and then with others. In this teaching, we will explore 10 profound ways from the Buddhist path to practice forgiveness and reconciliation, so that our hearts may be free and our relationships may blossom with peace. 1. Recognize the universality of suffering. The Buddha taught that suffering is part of human existence. Every person you meet carries hidden pain, fear, ignorance, or insecurity. When someone hurts us, they often act from their own suffering rather than malice. To recognize this is the first step toward forgiveness. It allows us to shift our view. Instead of labeling others as enemies, we see them as fellow human beings who are struggling. This realization softens our hearts and helps us release judgment. By acknowledging the universality of suffering, we build compassion. Forgiveness becomes possible when we understand that we all stumble, we all hurt, and we all seek peace in our imperfect ways. 2. Release the burden of resentment. Resentment is like drinking poison and hoping the other person suffers. It harms us far more than it harms them. The Buddha reminded us that clinging to anger is like holding a burning coal in our hands. We are the ones who get burned. Forgiveness is an act of to release resentment. We must recognize how heavy it feels to carry it day after day. Ask yourself, does holding on to this anger bring me peace, or does it steal my joy? By letting go, we step into freedom. We learn that forgiveness is not weakness, is strength, because it takes courage to set down the heavy burden of hate. 3. Practice mindfulness of emotions. When anger arises, the Buddha encouraged us not to deny it but to observe it with mindfulness. Notice how it feels in your body, perhaps heat in the chest or tension in the jaw. Breathe deeply and let awareness hold the emotion gently. Like a parent holding a crying child, anger is energy. But when it is observed, it loses power to control us. Through mindfulness, the fire cools and clarity returns. Instead of reacting blindly, we respond with wisdom. Over time, mindfulness becomes a safe space where emotions are acknowledged, softened, and healed. This practice transforms destructive impulses into seeds of understanding and compassion. 4. Cultivate loving-kindness metta. The practice of meditation is one of the most powerful tools for forgiveness. Begin with yourself. May I be free from suffering. May I live in peace. Then extend this wish to loved ones, and slowly to those with whom you struggle. It may feel impossible at first, but repetition softens the heart. Eventually, even the person who caused your pain can be included in your prayers. May you be free from suffering. May you be at peace. This is not about excusing their actions. It is about freeing your own heart. Loving kindness transforms bitterness into compassion, helping us move from hostility to reconciliation. 5. Contemplate everything changes, joy, sorrow, even the deepest wounds. The Buddha taught impermanence as a key to liberation. When we cling to pain, we suffer more. But when we recognize that nothing lasts forever, we open to healing. The insults or betrayals we received belong to the past. They no longer exist except in memory. Like clouds in the sky, they have already drifted away. By seeing impermanence clearly, we stop clinging to yesterday's hurts. Forgiveness arises naturally when we realize the past cannot be changed, only released. This insight brings lightness, allowing us to move forward with peace instead of chains. 6. Transcend the illusion of self. We often feel hurt because we believe a permanent self was attacked. But the Buddha taught that the self is not fixed, it is a collection of changing thoughts, feelings, and conditions. When we see this truth, insults lose their sting. If there is no solid I, then who is truly being harmed? This understanding reduces attachment to anger. Instead of defending an ego, we respond with compassion. Recognizing the emptiness of self is not cold detachment. It opens the heart to forgiveness. When the illusion of self dissolves, reconciliation becomes possible, because there is no rigid barrier between me and you. 7. Speak words of compassion. The Buddha emphasized right speech, words that are true, gentle, and healing. When reconciliation is needed, communication is essential. Speak honestly about your hurt, but without blame. For example, I was in pain, but I want to understand and create peace between us. Such words are like cool rain calming fire. They reduce defensiveness and invite openness. Compassionate speech does not demand perfection. It simply creates space for healing. When we speak from the heart with kindness, even wounds that seemed unhealable may begin to soften. Words can either divide or unite. The Buddha showed us how to use them for reconciliation. 8. Practice deep listening. To forgive and reconcile, we must listen deeply. This means not only hearing words, but also sensing the suffering behind them. The Buddha described deep listening as a form of compassion. When we listen without judgment or interruption, we allow others to release their pain. Sometimes, what a person needs most is not correction but understanding. Deep listening builds bridges where walls once stood. It is an act of generosity because it requires patience and humility. Through listening, empathy arises and reconciliation becomes possible. Forgiveness blossoms when hearts feel heard, and relationships heal when both sides feel understood. 9. See every wound as a lesson. The Buddha encouraged us to see difficulties as opportunities for growth. When someone hurts us, we can view them as teachers, showing us where patience, resilience, or compassion can be strengthened. Instead of being trapped as victims, we become students of life. Ask yourself, what is this pain teaching me? Perhaps it reveals my capacity for endurance or the depth of my compassion. By reframing wounds as lessons, bitterness transforms into wisdom. Forgiveness becomes a natural outcome when we realize that even painful experiences can enrich our journey toward enlightenment. Every scar can become a teacher of peace. 10. Offer forgiveness as a sacred gift. Forgiveness is ultimately a gift we give ourselves. It is not about erasing the past, but about transforming it into compassion. When we forgive, we set down the heavy weight we have carried for too long. Reconciliation blooms from this act, restoring harmony in relationships and peace in our hearts. To forgive is to shine light into darkness. It does not mean weakness. It means courage, wisdom, and love. By offering forgiveness, we free both ourselves and others. The Buddha showed us that forgiveness and reconciliation are not final acts, but ongoing practices that lead us closer to true liberation. The path of forgiveness and reconciliation is not easy. It requires mindfulness, patience, and great compassion. But every step we take lightens our hearts and brings peace to the world around us. By practicing these 10 ways, we transform anger into love, resentment into understanding, and pain into wisdom. Let us remember, forgiveness is freedom, and reconciliation is harmony. When we walk this path, we honor the teachings of the Buddha and cultivate peace within and without. Namaste.